I want you to have a nice 10 minutes, and you will play to be a strategic thinkers for the photovoltaic industry for once with me. And in order to do that, I want to give you context. You know what they say, information without context is manipulation. Any of you was in 2005 in photovoltaics, is when I started. If you remember, the highest efficiency was heterojunction. Close nearby was back contact cell, at the time SunPower, not exactly like today. And then there were poly and mono way behind. The world of photovoltaic was much smaller. We were less than 2 gigawatt of total production. So yeah, very different. If we move forward a few years, after the main price reduction happened in 2011, then we still had heterojunction, but back contact cell was a bit better in efficiency, round about the same. And then we still had mono and poly just chasing behind. Efficiencies and performances of 2013 of the worst technology were better than the best technology a few years before. And we were already well over 30 gigawatt and the prices had gone down a lot. If we look to today, this slide I had to redo a few times because efficiencies are improving, then we are chasing each other. But the main idea is that back contact cell in monofacial still has an edge over heterojunction in the best efficiency. We are quite close. And then TOPCon is a little bit behind, but chasing as well. And it seems like the world continues a very similar way, but if we look at the context of how this developed, you see that there is a constant here. Heterojunction has over 25 years of actual commercial lifetime. It has been selling on the market for more than 2 decades. And if you look at what everybody is putting the money on these days, we see TOPCon, PERC is on the way out very clearly. And you see that it's a very new technology in the context of reality of photovoltaics. Why I say this is because I want to explain you why we exist as Huasun. We are a young company, 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. We were created, and the point was that we wanted to do heterojunction as N-type technology, as high efficiency, instead of doing TOPCon. The reason why is that heterojunction is a better technology than TOPCon from a technical point of view. The only thing that it didn't have in 2020 was a competitive price, a competitive cost. And this is what I will explain to you today, how this has been achieved. The point of Huasun was not to do like all these companies you see here with these bars. This is the capacity that they have in heterojunction or had at the end of last year, as reported by some third party. They all wanted a top-of-the-line module for maybe some rooftop or something. We didn't want to go that way. We wanted heterojunction on utility scale. As you can see, we have over 20 gigawatt of production. And you can only compete in utility scale when you have a cost that is competitive for utility scale. And that is what we did. And we did it in 2 ways, increasing the efficiency, because every time you increase efficiency, you reduce the cost of the materials, and some other measures that reduce the cost specifically, and trying to make them not reduce the efficiency, because sometimes it's a balance. And you see that here, you don't need to read, I will not go through them, we don't have time for that. But I want to show how much effort, how much R&D, how much science has been going in the last few years into making heterojunction actually a technology that is competing on price with TOPCon. Our friends from Ryzen were explaining that in 2025 we should be in cost parity with TOPCon in manufacturing cost. How that has been achieved is based on these 3 very important points. We have much lower wafer cost, and that has been achieved by making it thin and by other means, by accepting oxygen and metallic impurities that do not matter for heterojunction, but matter a lot for TOPCon, by having a metallization that is using already less silver compared to TOPCon, and this is really, really important, the industrial scale implementation of heterojunction manufacturing. For those who remember 2020, all of the main players, almost all, went to TOPCon because of one reason. The machines, in order to make a new heterojunction line, were all new. They had to invest a lot of money. If they wanted TOPCon, they bought a few machines and changed a little bit the existing ones. A huge investment, right, for heterojunction. But the reality is heterojunction is more simple to produce. The moment that you go into 100 gigawatt of new machines for doing heterojunction, probably for 2025, putting everybody together, then the capital investment for those machines will be comparable or lower than for TOPCon. And with that, we will reach the point where heterojunction is the natural answer to having a technology with better performance and equal or lower cost. So that is fine, right? That's nice. I've made my presentation. It's all nice. But honestly, it's not gonna move, it's not gonna rock the world of anybody. It's just a competitive, maybe a bit better technology that has a long history, so very reliable, everything's fine. What I want to tell you is what may happen in 2 years that can really rock the photovoltaic world. Heterojunction has one advantage over back contact cell, even back contact cell heterojunction over TOPCon with 2 terminals on the front and the back. And that it is quite simple to do perovskite tandem. Simple in terms of machinery, not simple obviously into overcoming the perovskite challenges that are there. I'm not gonna repeat them. But it is more simple. This means that if from the science point of view, we will be able to solve the reliability concerns that perovskite have, by 2026, 2027 will be commercially in this situation. So everybody who is here developing projects, if by 2027, 2028, you have a module with almost 900 watt, you know, the 210 millimeter cells. You have a module, question mark, brand, I don't know, the narrow one, with 690 watt. And TOPCon, the normal TOPCon continues growing and gets to 760 watt by time. It's a very big improvement. TOPCon does not have that roadmap for improvement in reality. And the price is the same per watt. Actually, it should be cheaper for heterojunction. Which do you think will be the main product on the market, and which producer will have to close down the production lines? So the key point here is that if the technology advances as it is expected, by 2027, 2028, in photovoltaic, there will be a massive shift in technology. And that will be enabled by heterojunction. That is the reason why our company exists. That is the reason why Ryzen, in this case, is putting a lot of effort into heterojunction, and many of the main players are starting to do so in order not to miss that boat. And maybe this is the first time that you see this so black and white and so clear, but I think this is a message to the industry that changes are coming, and we think that this is the right direction to get clearly sub 10 cents per watt without making a loss in a sustainable environment, business environment. Thank you very much.